It's a one-year deal, but that doesn't mean it's just
I really don't envision this being my last game. You know, I just haven't approached that way. You know, and we'll see what happens down the road. But you know, I'm not approaching it that way.
You said when you came back that you wanted to smell the roses and enjoy the. Have you been able to do that?
Winning helps that a lot more. You know, yeah, at times. I mean, I think just. You know, one of the things I think I reflect back when I had that year off was, you know, it's the process that allows you to get there. And people talk about that a lot, but just finding ways from your film study and preparation and then see yourself have success and then the group doing that collectively. And that part of it, going back and kind of diving in on that challenge has been very enjoyable. But look, you're measured by wins and losses, you know, and I think quarterback carries that, the head coach carries that, and veteran players, I would think, throw in that category of, you know, you're measured off of do you win or not, and so that's it's been tough, but I've loved every second being out there playing.
When you've watched the tape, how have you done measured against your own expectations for yourself coming into the year?
Well, I think, you know, I feel like I can still play at a high level, you know, and you know, I'll have a time to go back and watch all those games, but I have never felt in any moment that I couldn't win, whether it was a route or a block. You know, it's a different role than maybe what I had earlier in my career. I mean, we're a different offense in what we try to do. We definitely got a lot of playmakers on the outside. But yeah, I still am very confident. My body's allowing me to do everything I want. Obviously, one of my advantages is your mind and the experience that you have there. So that's all felt well, you know, and that's gave me a lot of confidence to say that, you know, I haven't approached this as being the last game.
As you contemplated your return, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you thought of the dream scenario. And
yeah.
Winning it all and holding the trophy and all that. Did your mind ever go to what would have happened if it was 8-8 and you didn't make? Do you have to think of both?
You have to, you know, and I think, I mean, the one thing I knew was that this is a hard game, you know, and it's a tough league, and one thing that I understand, every time you line up it's going to be difficult. So yeah, I was thinking about competing for a championship, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy at all times, you know, and there were going to be moments like this, and that was one of the things why I was coming back to be a part of this locker room. And so you know, it's been a tough year, and you know, a lot of ways we got to play better, and we needed to play better, but still yet, you know, go out there and win and see what happens, and then regroup. You know, I think that's the only way you can approach it. And look, Washington's going to be a hard game. They're going to be playing for their jobs too, players and coaches, and Bill will have those guys ready to go.
Have you said you haven't envisioned this being your last game?
Yeah.
How long does the process take to where you make your mind up as to whether you want to come back and continue to
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty quick. You know, I think it'll be a pretty quick decision. But like I said, I just think if I allowed my mind to start going to that route, you know, I wouldn't be doing myself any justice, or really this football team. You know, and I mean that, of when I made that decision, I knew I had to go dive into this thing, you know, and we'll have plenty of time for that.
It was the same way in 2017.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't envision that being my last game either.
What kind of emotions do you have, Jason, knowing this could be Jason Garrett's last game as head coach?
Well, I don't think anybody's really kind of thought of it that way. You know, I mean, look, every player, every coach, when you come into this league, like it's a show me game. You have to go do that, and when you're 7-8 and you're going into the last game of the season, that's everybody understands that, you know. So be a pro, approach it the right way, have an opportunity, see what happens, and you know, go put your best on display. I mean, that's all you can do at this point, and then regroup, you know. But now's not the time to feel sorry for yourself or feel like, I mean, that's just, nobody feels sorry for you. That's just pro football. It's the Dallas Cowboys, and we didn't hold to that standard of what we expected to play, but there'll be time for that. Right now, it's just go win a game, you know, and knowing that Washington's really approaching it the same way. I mean, those guys are trying to prove themselves that they want to be a part of that team next year, and both players and coaches.
Was it fair to say, when you were thinking last year too, you really couldn't say, well, I'm just coming back for a last hurrah, one last year, because then you can't really prepare the way you need to.
Yeah, really and the other thing was, I didn't want that to be the mindset of, okay, there's your last road game, there's your last home game, there's your last Wednesday practice. You know, I mean, look, I mean, that's I know there's been a lot of great players that have approached it that way, and I got so much respect for them that have done it that way. But for me, I just it's another day, and I just have so much passion for this game and what it takes. So I've approached it that way all season, and I'm not going to change at this point.
Jason, whether it's this year or whenever
Yeah.
in the near future, is coaching in your immediate future?
Yeah, I think so. I think when I'm done playing, that's something that I'd like to do. Yeah, for sure.
On which level?
Right here. I mean, I spent my whole adulthood in pro football. I think coaching's coaching. I have an opportunity. Obviously, you want to be in a competitive level, and I mean, you feel like, even though I've seen guys go into the college level, for me, I think this is a level that I think you could have a lot of success in, just because you're so familiar with it really your whole life.
Apologies if you were asked
Yeah.
this earlier, but in terms of with the Eagles game going concurrently,
Yeah.
of course your postseason hopes dangle
Yeah.
that. Do you prefer to know what's happening in that game, or if you had your druthers with?
No, if I had my brothers, I would say no. I wouldn't even know. I mean, look, this is a hard game to play. You're going to line up there, and Landon Collins is going to be across the way, and it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, he's going to bring everything he's got, and so, of course, I'm pulling for the Giants, but we got our own things we need to worry about, and it's too hard of a game and too much respect for this game to approach it that way. All right, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.